Hi, welcome. This movie Passport is based on how people stand up for themselves and a few things that happen at the ghetto. But first, Oscar is a real Ajibo Pikin, meaning a rich kid. Today he's brought his girlfriend to a party with his friends and ordered the most expensive drink, Azu. I'm telling you, this drink can range from hundreds of thousands to millions. Oscar looks rich though, but his fortune comes from his parents. He's such a broke mommy's boy. They spent 4 million in just minutes. He asked his friends to cover up for him, but they refused because they were broke too. Out of panic, he took some bathroom break to call his sister for some money, but this wasn't his first time. She knows him really well and just hung up the call. Good thing he was dating a rich girl. She saw what was going on and cleared the bills. Finally, they both came home to meet a surprise. He got set up for his babe. He went down on one knee and popped the question. Can you believe he got a very old ring passed down from his parents to propose to a girl that just spent 4 million on your head? Also, Oscar is an irresponsible man by nature. He has nothing doing and depends on his sister and mother for support. After their father's death, his sister took over the family's business because clearly she was the only responsible one. Heartbroken, he just walked away. He went to see his uncle, Ong, and learned from him that his mother was very ill at home. So he took some of his things and his passport and zoomed off to the airport in Ong's old 90s cars. His family stays in London. But meanwhile, from the streets, there is a well-known ghetto lady called Kobiko, and from her dressing, she looks masculine. She's present in an area meeting where the issue of getting a new chairman is being debated to replace the old one. Terminator, the current chairman's tenure, is almost over, so Kobiko stood up to take his place, but based on her agenda, they disagreed. Terminator boasted that his administration has done a lot of things, so many good things and works, such as decreasing the price of beer, alcohol, and putting subsidy on marijuana. Can you imagine? What happened to building hospitals, schools, and roads? This was the main reason Kobiko intended to be chairlady, to make their community a better place. She was bold in the midst of them, as a lion. The whole meeting members were against her, and because of that, she was suspended for no meaningful reason at all. Mighty, a street girl, a sister to Kobiko, and her best friend Tobe just arrived from where they went to post Kobiko's campaign posters. When she noticed their mother wasn't replying to her greetings, she found out that her mother was very sick with a fever. She ran to inform Kobiko, and together they rushed her to the close hospital. From their conversation with the nurse, we found out that she's been sick for a long time now, and Kobiko is being told to take her to a better hospital for treatment. But due to her current state of lack, she couldn't afford such big hospital, requesting 50,000 from her for her mother's treatment. Mighty was fed up of Kobiko's nonchalant attitude towards their mother, even though she offered to give up her last card, which was 10,000, but Kobiko had nothing. Everything was empty. Back to Oscar and Ong. Their vehicle had a flat tire, and just like everyone driving a vehicle in Nigeria, there wasn't any spare tire in their vehicle. So Ong left Oscar alone to take care of the car while he went to get a mechanic. Mighty and Tobe walked up to him and offered to help, but they had a plan to rob him since he's new in this area and knows nowhere. Their plan succeeded and they took off with his bag containing his passport, but Oscar immediately followed them. After so many drifting and turning, Oscar lost track of them. Unluckily, his passport was in there, and recently his sister called him to let him know that their mother was very sick and she thinks she will soon die, and requested to see her son for the last time. Now, his hope of getting back to London is gone. From his description, Unc recognized them and took him straight to Kobiko's place. Unfortunately, Mighty was nowhere to be found. Also, this guy doesn't have manners. He doesn't have respect for anyone. So proud and arrogant, and his character made Kobiko angry, and she refused to help them. Having no choice, they went to report to the police and came to arrest Kobiko for a crime she didn't commit. Soon he realized that in order to find his belonging, he needs the help of Kobiko. So after convincing her and promising to pay her 100,000 if his belongings returns to him. Meanwhile, the main culprits have already looted what was in the bag and sold off the rest to a man called Prof, who buys stolen stuff. But as they left, he immediately informed Terminator to let him know that a new merchandise has arrived. Terminator arrived later with the boy to check out the Rolex watch and ATM cards. But they didn't know they were dealing with a very broke nigger. They could only salvage 10 euros from his account. Poor boy. But they decided to keep the bag in case. Once Kobiko was released, she met with her sister and interrogated her with slaps to her face to make her say the truth. Then the trio headed straight to the prof's place. On arrival, they requested to get back their belongings. but Prof used it as an opportunity to get some money out of them, seeing it was very important to them, so he requested for 50,000 in exchange. Thinking he still has the bag, they went to get the money from a close-by POS machine. Right there, Kobiko and Oscar got into an argument just because she requested her own part of the bargain, since the bag is almost found. But that arrogant and proud human being wasn't quiet. He rained curses on her and humiliated her just because she's poor. So she left him alone to find his bag himself, since he's such a talkative. When they returned to the prof with the money, he collected it and told them that he doesn't have the bag. Terminator does. He tried to fight to get his money back, but it was too late. The only thing to do now was to face Terminator. Despite Hunk's warning to him to stay away from Terminator's den, he was bent on going in. When he entered, he was cornered by Terminator's men. Later, he talked with Terminator, but he refused to give him his bag unless he pays him 500,000. Oscar pretended to go get the money, but he was just hiding outside, waiting for the right moment to steal the bag away from them. Do you know that when that bag was robbed earlier today, the passport dropped into a gutter by the wayside, and that night, Toby was lucky to find it. Okay, back to Oscar. When the attention was shifted, he rushed in to get the bag, but was caught, and now he has to pay for stealing from the almighty Terminator. He requested a fight with him for the bag. If he wins, he keeps the bag. If he loses, the bag stays. But he already know the outcome. He was beaten brutally, but just then, he got a lucky shot at him and ran away with the bag. As they chased him, he hid behind a car and escaped from them with the bag. But after searching through the bag, his passport was nowhere to be found. Just as Terminator's men came back from the chase, they found Toby right in front of their den. They thought he was a spy and took custody of him, searched his belongings and found a passport on him. Kai, fuck off. Hunk talked with Oscar and told him of the implication of his mouth and how it has ruined so much for him. He warned him against his proud nature and asked him to take it easy with Kobiko. He heeded to the advice later on and came back to apologize to Kobiko for talking to her that manner. She refused, that he insulted her and Mama's sickness again. It seems Mama's sickness is getting worse. Oscar offered to help and took her to the hospital and also paid her bills. That single act of kindness made Kobiko have a change of heart and she started to help him get his passport back. Who dey fear you? Almost sit down there, you know rich. Come on, get out of here. In ghetto language. Have you ever seen a woman challenging a man? Well, she did. Even though Terminator had a gun pointing to her stomach, she wasn't shaking. In the heat of the whole argument, Kobiko got shot. She was taken to the hospital and good thing she survived. Oscar was so happy and admired her courage. He offered to take her overseas someday. After some days of recovering, Kobiko was being taken home when Prof arrived with good news that her application as the new chair lady was approved and she's free to contest now. But Kobiko was unsure if she still wants to go ahead, but promised to give it a thought. Finally, thanks for staying to the end. Please, I'm a poor boy and subscribing to my channel is all I need. It's such a kind gesture to me. It doesn't hurt. Just go ahead, like it. If you think I tried. Thanks again, Movie Exploits.